I like to deal in truth, and here's the truth about SNAP. SNAP was intended to give hardworking Americans a second chance during difficult stretches in life. It was never intended to become a lifestyle, but rather a life vest. And in spite of this, the program has shifted from its original intentions and has continually grown. It now represents some 82% of the Farm Bill and will cost $1.2 trillion over 10 years. The truth is, SNAP has been plagued by overpayments and errors. SNAP's national overpayment rate is 9.84%, leading to more than $34 million in erroneous payments each day, $13.15 billion a year. This isn't really even factoring in the overpayments of less than $48, which is not factored in. Look, this is all aided by sugary drinks, which are the second most purchased items sold through SNAP, accounting for 5% of dollars SNAP recipients spend on food, costing between $2 and $4 billion each year. The truth is, as the number of SNAP recipients has grown, our healthiness levels have fallen here in America. I think that's shameful. This shows a definite need for changes to SNAP, to ensure solvency in the program, to curb the waste, the fraud, the abuse, to incentivize healthier choices, and to rein in our skyrocketing national debt of almost $35 trillion.
My distinguished colleagues on the other side of the aisle have mentioned overpayment when they are talking about food stamps and SNAP benefits, when really we should be asking about overpayment to many of these corporate CEOs. When folks have been talking about waste, fraud, or abuse and are talking about people who are just trying to get by and on food stamps, I would actually point to the waste, fraud, and abuse of corporate America, who are overwhelmingly starting to dominate our food systems and jacking up prices on consumers while underpaying their workers. Just take a look at the beef market, where we have 4 packing companies that now control 85% of the market. Those same companies that have been caught with children working in dangerous facilities are constantly underpaying their workers and have used their market power to not only ignore those basic labor laws, but to jack up prices on consumers. Today, we're discussing a Republican Farm Bill proposal that, in my view, not only fails small farmers and ranchers, but fails American workers. In fact, in today's 954-page draft bill, the word worker is only mentioned 6 times. And in none of those instances are they talking about the rights or well-being of the people who harvest, process, or pack our food for far too little pay. In stark contrast, the word corporation appears at least 99 times. And it's because it's largely those corporations who will reap the benefits of this partisan farm bill. In my view, the farm bill is such an important opportunity to reduce the power of those corporate price gougers, but instead, this Republican bill before us rewards them. The people who work to pick tomatoes in the summer heat, or who process food at the plant, or make sure that that food gets to our grocery shelves, they're the ones who should be getting more help in this bill. But instead, they are hurt by it because the bill cuts $30 billion from the nutrition programs that help those working families put food on the table after a long day at work. So who does this bill protect if it's not those workers? It is those big corporations, sometimes in a very creative way, that are getting more protection in this bill. Look no further than the provisions in here that provide liability shields for chemical corporations and their pesticides that make workers and consumers sick. It even throws a punch at the public servants that administer SNAP benefits by pushing for more privatization of their public jobs and shipping those jobs out to more corporations. I mean, come on, y'all. I came to this committee to vote for a pro-farmer, pro-rancher, and pro-worker farm bill, not for a corporate handout. I yield my time back to Mr. McGovern, if he'll take it.
Mr. McGovern is recognized.
Thank you. We just heard from a Republican member that somehow there's a link between SNAP and bad health outcomes. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, quite frankly. Studies that track the effect of SNAP on the physical health of recipients find that participation in the program is linked with improved nutritional outcomes, lower health care costs, and improved current and long-term health. The fact of the matter is food insecurity, on the other hand, is associated with extremely negative mental and physical health outcomes. So these arguments are unfounded, and they do real damage to the public perception of people who depend on SNAP and who, studies show, have similar purchasing patterns to non-SNAP participants. I would add one other thing. The gentleman implies that somehow people on SNAP are not working. The majority of people on SNAP who are able to work actually work. They actually work. But they earn so little, they still need to depend on SNAP to put food on the table. I mean, we live in the richest country in the history of the world, and there are 44 million Americans who are food insecure. And we have an opportunity to do something about it in this committee, and instead we're going in the wrong direction. Cutting SNAP by $30 billion will not result in improved health outcomes. It will result in worse health outcomes, more food insecurity, more illness, more avoidable health care costs. And we ought to stop demonizing people on the benefit. I mean, and the gentleman, Mr. Scott, showed us a chart about how much we're spending on SNAP. We're spending money on SNAP because we have a poverty problem in this country. We have had for a long time. And what's the option? To cut the program and increase hunger in this country? I mean, give me a break. We can fix this, and we're going in the wrong direction. I thank the gentleman. I yield back.